You're watching the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Thank you for sticking around for our second half. We're here at the Coca-Cola Classic Christmas in Katy, and it is open to families around the community, and we'll have more later in the program. But first, unemployment is rising rapidly here in the United States. It's at 4.4% in the month of September. Now, with the holidays rolling around, many people thought they would be able to get those temporary jobs for the holidays, but that's not the case. Let's talk to our expert tonight. Joining us, CPA and attorney Lucy Petry, to give us the skinny on what's going on. Now, Lucy, we had record sales at Black Friday. And of course, earlier this week, you explained that the numbers may be kind of wonky there.
Yeah, so we did have record sales by dollar amount. However, when we factor in inflation, we spent about the same as we did last year. But most importantly, we bought less things. So the volume, the number of items sold is actually less than it was last year. So
just
basically,
more expensive.
We paid more for less things. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. We're buying less things and it's costing us more. And whether it is because of inflation, tariffs, all of those things, or overall consumer sentiment, how we feel about the future economy, we are buying actually less, even though we had a record amount of sales.
So that takes us to the jobs. Many stores would hire temporary workers during the holidays, and we're hearing fewer stores are doing that.
Yeah, so several factors go into that. And yes, they are hiring less people because, one, they are selling less things in person, right, at the physical, actual stores. People are shopping online more than ever, so there's less need to staff the stores for the holidays. And then two, we're buying less things, even though it maybe when we buy it in person, we're buying less than we used to. And companies are cautious and trying to control cost. So they're trying to do more with less. For all of these reasons, they are slowing down the hiring and cutting back on the seasonal employment that they used to offer.
And what I read recently was that the big box stores that many of us all know, household names like Target and Walmart, they said while they're not bringing more workers on, they may be bringing some, but not a significant number because they're making use of the employees currently there with them and giving them more hours.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for employees to get overtime pay, and that can be a substantial portion of their paychecks. So yes, absolutely. They're trying to give more money to the employees they currently have and help them and retain them.
The latest numbers from the federal government indicated that unemployment was at 4.4%, and that's getting higher and higher as compared to previous years. What do we do when we have high unemployment, but no one is hiring?
Well, it's the beginning of a recession. We have no employment for individuals. Borrowing increases. People start relying more on their credit cards. As a matter of fact, the real winner of Black Friday was the buy now, pay later companies. They saw record use of the buy now, pay later. So people are using credit. And as you know, eventually we have to pay or go into default. So if you have prolonged unemployment and high use of credit, we are heading for trouble.
Wow. So it's the old school, what we used to consider layaway. Now it's you can buy it now and pay it later, not layaway anymore. One of the things I noticed during Black Friday. What's that?
Except that the fees are a lot higher.
Yeah. I mean, were fees with layaway? I can't recall.
I think they
But
used to be really low, if none.
we'll be back with more of the conversation after the break. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're continuing our conversation about many of the big box stores not hiring as many people as they usually do during the holidays. Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things you noticed during Black Friday was when you went to the shopping centers, there were no crowds.
I was astounded that I could find parking right in front of the store. And I didn't have to fight anybody for a parking spot. And when I got into the stores, they were empty. There was nobody there. At one point inside of dealers, I saw one person, and it was very eerie. It was very strange. So people are not really shopping as much as they used to, or they're staying home and buying online. But as we saw, the volume, the number of items actually sold is down. So I think people are pulling back. Maybe they're waiting for better deals right before Christmas. I don't know. But yeah, I do think we are more cautious this year than we were last year.
What would be your advice to those who are typically working during the holidays? Maybe they don't work the rest of the year because they're retired and they say, I want to get out, or they may be uh, a job that they can take extra hours for holiday jobs and they really want it to sustain their households, but there are no jobs out there. What would be your advice to people who may be out there looking for work during the holidays and simply places like Target and Walmart, the big box stores, saying they're not increasing their numbers as significantly as before, but increasing the hours of current employees? What would you tell those people who may be looking for that temporary work?
We're going to have to be creative. We're going to have to look at things that we may not have considered in the past, like Uber and other delivery services. That could be an option. And maybe look on your neighborhood app, local small businesses that you may not have considered in the past. We're just going to have to be more creative and instead of relying on the past seasonal employment.